angle's making me uncomfortable. Well guys, I'm about to review this deck. Back after 7 years to do a deck review. So my last one's got 8 point something K views, which is a lot more views than I get on my music videos. And I'm just trying to find it on the internet so I can prove to myself there's a point, because why review a deck if it's not for sale anymore? And I'm struggling. You know, I got to Skate Hard and I went on Skateboard Decks and I went on Santa Cruz, and that page doesn't exist because, you know, who's heard of them? And I don't know, I can't remember what it was called. I'd copy the name off it, but like, you know, bolted it off, and it's not a pro model, it's just like a 9 point something. You see, it's essential that I find out this information before I start yabbering on. I want to call it the Ripper, but I'm pretty sure that's the name of the last deck I reviewed, and I don't think that there's a Power Auto Ripper and a fucking Santa Cruz Ripper. I want to say you can't ride ball on that, but you can ride ball on anything. 4 minutes. I got songs to record. I don't even think you can buy this anymore. It's that old. This is what lockdown does. I've had this deck for a year and it's not even, I mean, like, it is a little bit fucked, but it's not all the way fucked. I'll do an image shirts, but again. I'd review my next one. I know this is going to be on the internet. It's Crusade Skateboard. It's a fat deck. I forgot how heavy these are with it. I got the longboard risers on there so I can buy 60mm wheels, because I go through wheels quick. So wanking goblin on it. I'll be reviewing this one next, and it looks like I need to hurry up, skate it a few more times, and get a grip, because it's not going to be around. To be fair, it was one of the last few in stock. Maybe it's not worth it. So it's a struggle to look at the camera and not at myself. It looks so good. Zoomies. Support your local. I'm pretty sure Santa Cruz will be like on China or some shit, I reckon. So,
I'm Spencer Skater from the Santa Fe.
Fishbowl, Alicante, menu prices and restaurant reviews. Yeah, I went there the other day, it was great. Who sells Santa Cruz clothing? No, I'm just looking at random Google searches. You're really Skate Hard. Nah, yeah, I tried this and it fucking said, oops, we're the top resulting Google for Santa Cruz decks, but we've got none. We don't do Santa Cruz decks. Santa Cruz is not a skate company. They make fashionable clothes. This would have been funny if I found it in like 2 minutes. And right now, I've got a 10-minute video of me struggling to find this deck on the internet. I think we found him! So we got the Brush Dot Team Model Preissue Series 9.42 by 3.188 and a 14.5 inch wheelbase. This is all in inches, but you should know. You're a skateboarder. If you don't, it's all in inches. Brand new in shrink, purple stained finish, new old school pool style deck from Santa Cruz. We're stoked on these preissues. They are new graphics on Santa Cruz OG shapes at regular deck price and not a silly reissue price. Agreed, although $64.99 is getting pretty close to a silly reissue price. I'm not gonna lie. But you can set it up as a radical park ripper or put soft wheels on it and make it a super fun cruiser or transport board, or you can get massive soft wheels and you got the best of both worlds. And they got different wheels that they recommend here. I would have been riding it on these, which I can't even see what they are anymore, and they would have been way bigger. I go through wheels something chronic, which is why I buy huge wheels and have huge riser pads, which actually, they don't hold me back on nothing. Right, okay, so I found it. I've given you, got 100%, oh, fuck, Facebook just opened, yeah? Fuck-a-bird. Right, 100% Canadian hard rock maple, 7-ply, 9.42 by, I've done that, 7-inch nose. Interesting fact there, I wonder when I'm measuring that from. Where do you reckon? Because, I don't know. you know. What else we got? 6.75 tail. I really wonder where they're measuring that from. This is one of my favourite things. Well, I do know my next board's got an even bigger tail. But this big tail has been a saviour because I've learned tail tricks. I've never been able to do tail tricks, but on this board I did some front lean to tails. Because you know the lean to tails can do both ways, can't they? A lean to tail is a front side nose grab. Well, technically it's a backside grab. Lean is because you've got to lean into the ramp and then you fucking do that shit. But yeah, I learned those. I did a body jar. I wouldn't say I learned body jars. I did a body jar. Maybe I'll chuck the clips in. No, I definitely chuck the clips in. That'll be a good shout. The board, the nose is nice. The last board I reviewed was a Palperata Ripper, which has got about this much nose, which is great for a lot of things. But I've recently started trying to do nose slants, obviously, and really pulling them in. Sorry, but I like grabbing. And yeah, this has been perfect for that. This nose actually, it's lush. Obviously, I haven't slid on it much because there's still stickers on it. But no slides were never really my strong point. Whereas now I can kind of tail slide. I've done a few back tail slides, only on something small. I haven't pushed it that hard yet. It's been locked down most of the time I've had this board. So initially I actually set it up with longboard wheels, which is where the riser pads come from, my longboard. They would have been like, they were huge. I'd go find them, but I'll probably knock the phone over and then I'll spend about half an hour trying to put it back. I had that and I was riding it around because the skate parks are closed. I was sort of cruising it and then turning up at skate parks and then shredding it, and it's perfect. It's lush because it's nice and big where you want it and it's small where you want it to be small. That's why I ride shape decks, because they feel a little bit smaller than, say you bought a 9-inch popsicle and then you're looking at, I mean this is a 9.4, but you'd be looking at, say you bought a 9.4 popsicle, you're looking at that width all the way through. Now that's a tanking board, but with these they look nice and you shave a couple of these inches off. It just feels a little bit more maneuverable, and especially with these big tails. You can do tail blocks obviously on a fish tail. That's one of the big bonuses. I can do them on popsicle boards, but it doesn't feel as secure, which is upsetting. This kickflip nicely as well. I'm struggling to kickflip my new one. You see where, this is like a comparison video. You see, it's not got the same kind of, compare these two noses, it's got a really nice little well for your foot to go in so you can flip it. And obviously, as Rodney Mullen said, flips look way nicer on bigger boards. I don't know if I 100% agree, but what else could I tell you about this? I've given you all the 14.5 measured from inner to inner holes. So it's 14.5 inches for comparison. So if you ever need a ruler, open this video up. 14.5 inches, boys! At last you can get an old school shaped Santa Cruz deck without spending reissue money. As I say though, I found it for $64.99. I doubt I paid $64.99 for it, because generally what I do is I look for the cheapest, nicest shape I can get my hand on. I'm a cheapskate, and I have a kid now. I didn't have a kid in my last deck review, so price was less of an issue. I believe it's got like longboard grip on it. I think it said when I bought it they would put bigger grip on it than a normal board, so that might be a slight issue, but what you can do is you can, it looks complicated, this was easy, I just did this for funsies, but if you take normal grip and cut it into separate parts, you can spread it out, because you don't need grip here, and whether you like that or not, that's up to you. But if you've only got normal grip to use, you can do that and you'll have yourself a nice fat full shape board. I haven't lost any flatland tricks. Nollies, that's what I wanted to talk about, nollies. I haven't lost any flatland tricks, but I was never very good at nollying on flat anyway. It wasn't really something that I spent a lot of time doing. As you can tell by the board I'm reviewing right now, I don't spend a lot of time skating flat. I know people do skate flat on these and can do it a lot, but I feel like these are people who spend all of their time skating, and I don't spend all my time skating. I spent a lot of time skating when I was young, so I can still skate pretty well, but I don't go like every day anymore. But yeah, nollies. It kind of shifts a bit, I guess because it's got less room. I'm kind of hoping that my new deck won't have this issue because it's got the flatness here, whereas this one pointed all the way through. So when you nollie, it does kind of shivvy a bit, but I mean if you've got good board control, you'll be able to let it do that and bring it back, because that's how you nollie up stuff anyway, I've noticed. You know? What else? This would be easier if I had questions. Shall I cheat? Shall I just... Let's see if I can find a Q&A and answer people's questions. Stealing content is the future of content. I can maybe find it cheaper for you as well. So I didn't have one of these last time. 7 years ago, man, we didn't have this kind of technology, did we? Man, I'm getting on this site. I believe I saw an ad for this site. I think they do lots of big shape boards here. They got roller derby, footwear protection. This is not a paid promotion. I'm just telling you that I'm seeing lots of shape decks. They look a bit less shaped. There's a deaf one on there though. But still, hang on. 1 minute. Oh, we got Alva shit. Look at the size of them motherfuckers. More shapes. So I'm definitely going to be back on this website. Maybe I'll just start buying boards off of this. Santa Cruz SpongeBob. I mean, nothing against SpongeBob, nothing against Santa Cruz, but I mean, riding around on a SpongeBob board seems a bit weird. What size truck? That was the one that you might ask. What size trucks have I got? I use Steve because they're a little bit cheaper than Independent, and I go through trucks. These are a relatively new pair. And also, I've learnt a lot more grinds than I used to know, so I've actually worn down the entire thing, whereas usually I just used to have the little 50 mark. Because you know, you learn your first grind and you keep one of the front ones less more. So I end up swapping these. Skate tips. Swap them, because if you get brand new decks, brand new trucks, sorry, you don't have this. And I become fairly dependent on this, but luckily the bowl I skate near me is concrete coping, so you give it a few and you're back in there. Anyway, this isn't the deck we're reviewing. CSX. I don't use hollows or nothing. I debated it. I rode my mate's board with hollows and I was like, it floats nicely. But I mean, when you got riser pads like that on there, what are you trying to pretend to be doing? Got candy kins sticker. I like my candy kittens. Vegan sweets, guys. Vegan is the future. But don't tell anyone who eats meat I said that. I gotta imagine that they're like the equivalent of a 169. I think they're slightly smaller than a 169. I believe this deck's about a 9.5, probably 9.4, maybe even a 9.75 again. If you look where it curves in, truck fits perfectly. So I'd say you want to go 159 or above, independent wise, and then thief wise. Let me double check the sizes. Bang, this thing's useful. It's good to have stuff to look up while you're doing a video. Thief truck size chart. Oh, look at that. So if you look, you can find a Thief truck size chart. So it's got 6.5s, is for decks 8.5 to 9. And then it ends there. But because of the shapes, generally, we're cutting it in where the trucks are going to sit. So if you look, the widest point on this one is about here. So you got the nice boat feeling, but when you're actually on the trucks, you don't have to get necessarily 169. That's how I look. Recommended sizing chart here. Here we go. So we got 60, the model 66, 6.75 recommended for a 9.12 or a 9.65 with an axle weight of 9.35, all in inches. I reckon I'm on the 55s. I don't know if I am on the 65s, 66s, sorry. I reckon I'm on 55s. So 6.37 hanger width, 9 axle width, and the board fit is between 8.50 and a 9.12. But I would imagine they've taken that into account again from the widest point. So as if you were gonna ride a popsicle board that was, what did I say? 8.50 to 9. Riding a popsicle board that was between 9.12 and 9.62 inches, then you'd want to go for the bigger size up. But I think when you've shaved off some of the weight around here, you'll be fine. I mean, these are the trucks I rode, and I reckon they're 55s. They don't look that big. They look kind of big, but they don't look that big. And wheels again. I mean, the wheels aren't necessarily going to matter. I had a big advantage with the riser pads of being able to have big wheels. You can have tiny wheels on it. The wheel size is not necessarily going to affect how the deck performs, but if you want to skate bowl, you want at least a 58mm. I buy bigger than 58mm, mainly because I just go through them. And then I feel like anything 56 or under looks kind of weird on a shaped deck, but it's not about the looks, it's about what you want to ride. But I'd say to go for, especially if you're good at doing reverts and stuff, and you're going to be getting your wheels down, I'd just buy the biggest size you can. It's the cheapest way to do it. It's not like you pay more for bigger wheels. It's just logical, right? Like, spend the least money for the most wheel. Don't buy anything like flat spots there. It's kind of hard to tell what that is though, because everyone says they got an anti-flat spot formula. I normally get them from going on stones. You go on a stone and the wheel locks up, and then the wheel's going along, and then Whereas I think as far as anti-flat spot technology goes, it's probably something to do with the grain of the wheel, making the wheel spin when you're sliding or something. If I was just going to pull the science for that out of my ass, that's what I'd say it is. And that's generally what I do. Yeah, here we go. It's pictured here with 1.44mm trucks actually, so that's they do look quite small on it. 1.44, so I'd definitely go for the slice up from that. That's in millimeters. Keep the wheels under the boards so this beginner doesn't kick them. So it's for a beginner that you don't want to be kicking the wheels. Although I don't think that when I had these on, and I believe these are the equivalent of a 165, the wheels aren't over, so you don't have to worry about that. I bet that really showed you that. You would not have known. Had you not have seen that? I did Richter 56mm 78A clouds. I'd use way bigger than that, and bonus reds. Bearings are bearings. No riser pads for now, so that's pretty crazy. That's a very different way to how I've got it set up. But again, this is a beginner. This isn't someone going for it. You need to buy what you enjoy, realistically. But if I was starting out, I'd want to go big wheels, big deck. This is not what I did when I started out. I started out on like a 7.95 and wanted to learn kickflips and stuff, and eventually I figured that wasn't for me. I like bowls. So as someone who learned to skate on a drop-through longboard, this deck feels pretty stable to me. It's a stable deck. It's the nicest seat in the house. That's what it is. I do really like the feel of this one, but I think this one's more stable. This one's kind of more maneuverable. This tail, I'm excited to bash on some coping. And this nose, I like the nose. It's a good shape. It's like kind of coffin-y. I'll be doing a deck review of that one next. This is not the focus right now. I'm less forgiving than my biggie. What, fucking 20-inch? Why tail and nose are enough to ollie? Yeah, this is true. I mean, I can ollie and kickflip and nollie. Doing the wrong one. Nollie, fucking, you know. This will do flatland. You're not gonna limit yourself too much. Maybe if you can't tray and you want to learn to tray, get a small little popsicle board. But you could always ride both. A lot of people do that. A lot of people have two setups. I don't have two setups. I kind of want to. I wanted to set up, but mainly so I can ruin one, because me and my daughter go scoot, and then we'll go down by the river, and then, you know, I'll get back on my board and I'll muddy it up. And realistically, I mean, like, look, you shouldn't be able to do that. If I did that on my, I don't know, Preissue concave. Yeah, so that is an important point. Is that this has got, I'll show you now. It's got concave. We're not talking a flat board here. I mean, it's not insane. It's not like the deepest concave known to man. Unless it is, in which case I'm a fucking idiot. But you see, it's not just a flat. Because if you skate a flat board, it feels like it's bent the other way. So this one's gonna grip your feet. You know, you're not gonna be losing out on tricks. You get your foot through there. It's gonna flip. I don't know about heel flips. I can't do them yet. Sorry. I've tried a few on here, but again, I don't. Flat isn't my buzz. I mean, obviously this is fucked on the tail, but it's not going to come like that. And this happened, I think, because I did a kickflip. No, that one didn't. But the front died because I did a kickflip into a bank, and I don't know what went on, but it kind of landed upside down and it exploded, which is a bit weird. But then I'd been skating it on the streets for a while, so I don't know if I just worn the nose down doing that. You saw the size of my riser pads, and I still got wheel bite. That'll be from the longboard wheels, that will. Anything else? Anything I've missed? If there's anything I've missed, ask in the comments. I will reply. If anyone even watches this, who knows? Just because the last one did well, it's not a guarantee this one will. Peace out. I'll be back with another deck review soon. Especially when I skate that one. I'm excited to review that. Peace out. One more thing actually before I go, I'll give you a heads up about another video that I'm doing. So I broke the neck of my guitar recently, as you can see. Maybe. I mean, it actually looks a lot better. There you go. There's a good view. So I actually broke the neck of this yesterday, and I looked up how to fix a guitar, and I've done a sketchy little fix on it. This plastic plate's a bit moved out, but I figure once I tune it, it shouldn't matter. So my next video will be, did this work? Because as you can see, I have not put the strings on yet. AB504 will love this, because this poor thing. I mostly did it from the memory and the skate sticks. It's got a witchcraft sticker on it actually. I mentioned them earlier in the video, but I didn't cut that out. Sick. So yeah, once I've actually, well, I'm going to film myself putting the strings back on, because I think one of two things will happen. Either it will work, and it'll be an interesting video of me fixing my guitar, or, I don't know, in my head somehow it's just going to like, you know, like a deck chair in a cartoon. So you'll want to see that if that happens. So look out for that. If you're into guitar fixing as well, if you want to fix your guitar as well, it might be helpful to watch an absolute idiot make a mess of it and it still work. I mean, obviously it doesn't look great, but I never really cared about the look. I just wanted my guitar back. So there you go. That's the next video. See you soon.